Let me ask you this. If video games are not art, why do they make me cry? We don't have a lot of annual traditions here at Delayed Input, but for the last 2 years running, I have been making a list of my top 10 most anticipated trailers. I figure we should keep it running tonight. A couple of things to cover before we get into the list itself. Firstly, I believe that a good video game trailer doesn't necessarily have to present a good video game to be entertaining. If the trailer is an absolute mess, it hasn't necessarily wasted your time if you had fun. And along those lines, I feel like it's hard to anticipate a trailer for a game that you have a pretty good understanding of. I think an anticipated trailer needs a certain level of mystery and dangerousness. Danger. Let's begin my top 10 most anticipated trailers of 2025. Number 10, GTA 6. Now, I know that's a basic pick. That's why it's number 10. But looking back at 2023's GTA 6 trailer, it racked up a lot of views. Got a lot of attention. It's a nice edit. But do you know what was missing? Moments. And not like this, not a moment like that. I'm talking about a moment where you, the player, are playing the video game, apparently doing something. A moment where a player is doing something. Preferably a thing that hasn't been in a GTA game prior to this one. This was a teaser. GTA 6 has barely begun trailering. I think the next one is going to go wild. And on top of that, you get the additional benefit of new anime games trying to look like the new GTA 6 trailers. So this one almost counts for 2. Number 9, Hades 2. Hades 2 is facing a sort of marketing conundrum because the game is out. It's in early access. I think that was the right call for the video game itself, but it does kind of feel like it's been around for a while at this point. I wonder what a trailer has to do to get people excited about version 1.0. We've already seen the cinematic reveal of the new characters. New gameplay features will probably already be well understood. And so it kind of seems like they're low on opportunities left to surprise and excite anybody who hasn't bought in on this game yet. I feel like the easiest possible thing to do is wait, hold up until the release date is really soon. I think that would be a really exciting thing. Here's the version 1.0 trailer and it's out next week, that kind of thing. But also, I think like the strategy to use is like when you see a kind of compelling trailer or commercial, for a TV show that you don't normally care about. When it's like this Thursday, the rookie witnesses a new crime. You don't care. But this Thursday, the rookie might get murdered by his daughter because of what he said at Bath and Body Works. Suddenly, I got plans for Thursday. Number 8, Battlefield. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. EA is in the dumps. Dragon Age Veilguard whiffed. And even worse, people aren't buying Ultimate Team cards for sports games like they used to. There's immense pressure on the Battlefield franchise to perform. Like, it's now or never, right? But there's also immense pressure on this trailer. All they've shown so far is this piece of concept art. You can hear this. Sounds like the Battlefield trailer itself is going to have to quickly demonstrate a good time. I feel like that's the biggest difference between the marketing of Call of Duty games and Battlefield games. It's like Battlefield seems dead set on conveying epic seriousness. But if their intent is actually to get back to basics, I'd love to see a trailer where it shows you throwing C4 onto your team's parked airplane and somebody gets in it and then you explode it and then they blow up. Like, that's part of Battlefield. Number 7, Kingdom Hearts 4. I sense doubt from you. There was a time, to be fair, where Square Enix would announce video games way too early, but without any evidence, I'm here to tell you that time is over. There's going to be a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer in 2025, and it's going to blow your socks off. Yeah, just like Sora. Number 6, Sega's reboots. So it was like 14 months ago when Sega put out this trailer. I feel like it was met with a lot of excitement just based off of nostalgic brand recognition. Dang, they're bringing Golden Axe back? we all said, but I think the dark truth there is that each of those games kind of benefited from being a part of a montage. It's like when me and all my cheerleader friends stand next to each other, we're all generally more attractive just from being a part of a group. I kind of get the impression the same thing was happening here. Now, these poor Sega games have to start coming out at some point. No, I don't fear for Jet Set Radio. That one's in the bag. But really, what was happening with this Golden Axe game? Number 5, Wolverine. Working on this video game has to be one of the easiest jobs on the whole planet. Making a video game about Wolverine is the simplest possible home run you could ever have in your life. It's like you get to pick up the baseball and walk it out of the stadium and you get credit for that. It's that level. What I'm saying is that if Wolverine has claws, that cut, you could put the whole game in a bread factory, and that's going to be fun for 20 hours. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about cutscenes or enemy AI or global illumination. As long as Wolverine has claws that retract and come out and can slice things, that's an easy $10 million. And that's what's so exciting about this upcoming trailer is that we're going to know. It will be apparent within 5 seconds whether the claws are good or need work. Number 4, Fable. A lot of these entries essentially boil down to prove it, right? Prove that you're fun. Prove that you're deep. I don't really worry about those things for Fable. Fable's greatest challenge ahead is proving that it's funny. Now, if you read all the comments on this YouTube channel, there is strangely one thing that everyone seems to agree upon. I'm kind of a master of comedy. So when I say this game isn't funny, you know I don't say that lightly. They've been trying desperately to convey a sense of wit ever since that CG reveal teaser, and frankly, not once since have they earned even the slightest huff of a laugh.
I'm here to conquer the vegetable, not a euphemism.
Number 3, PlayStation Gas. Last year I had PlayStation Gas on my list as a sort of, how are they going to pull this off curiosity, right? How are they going to do this? It's going to be tough. This year, obviously, a lot of things had changed. Yeah, there was Concord, of course. Recently, 2 games were outright canceled. So if you want to advertise for video games, I feel like Sony's upcoming slate of live service games represents the maximum difficulty. It's the hardest your job will ever be. It's like going to a carnival and watching people play the basketball game, where the hoops are super high and shaped like ovals. There's no possible way for the ball to fit inside of that hoop, but you're still back there watching people try to do it because it's entertaining. To the marketing team of Fair Games, have fun. My second most anticipated trailer of 2025 is whatever's at the end of April's Nintendo Direct. So when Nintendo revealed the Switch 2 finally 2 weeks ago, it did end with this end slate. If you have any more remaining questions, please look forward to the Nintendo Direct on April 2nd. That's 2 freaking months from now. And seemingly, publishers and developers are still unallowed to announce that they have Switch 2 games in development. So what we're looking at here is basically maybe the longest runway of excitement Nintendo has ever given for a Nintendo Direct. With all due respect to Mr. Keighley, I feel like this is going to be the most hyped up gaming showcase of the entire year. Imagine what they could possibly end this showcase with, because Nintendo knows. They know to save their best thing for last. They know they have a surprise locked and loaded for the end of their biggest Nintendo Direct of the last 5 years. What if? I'm just saying what if. What if this thing ends with a new Smash Bros. Trailer? Do you understand what I'm asking you? Do you understand you could watch every movie in the year? You could go to every concert. You could witness somebody rescuing a dog from a river. And a new Sakurai-directed trailer will still be the best thing you've seen all year. And number 1, something with Digimon in it. And again, I realize it's an obvious pick. We all agree on this. We're all wondering, what's going on with Digimon? How come Bandai Namco puts so many resources into Sword Art Online and Sandland games when Digimon are right there? Bandai Namco, have you seen Gabumon? That's flawless design. He's perfect. You own him. That's your IP. Now, last year, Bandai Namco did announce that they're canceling 5 in-development games. If any of them were Digimon games, that company is truly lost. They're harming society. If there is to be a Digimon game this year, featuring even the modest budget of a Sin Duality Echo of Ada, something like this, its trailer will shake and destroy the very foundations of the games industry as you know it. I won't have to be here every week talking about rising costs and studio closures. Gabumon will cure all that. And that concludes my top 10 most anticipated trailers and, of course, delayed input. I will be back next week. Thanks for watching. You may have noticed throughout this entire video, I neglected to show you 2024's most anticipated games list. And the truth is, I thought it would undercut the stakes of what we're doing here because it turned out so bad. But you have the right to know. It looked like this. Yeah, Final Fantasy IX, BioShock, and technically new Nintendo hardware didn't make it into 2024. That means I did have a higher hit percentage than 2023, but that's not the point. A lot of the trailers I was anticipating turned out unremarkable. You're basically looking at a list of unspecial trailers. And I stand by it. That Metroid Prime 4 trailer from last year was not that good. Maybe restrained. Maybe they wanted to show as little as possible. But yeah, that made for a boring trailer. Truly, the number one thing I'm most disappointed we didn't see much of in 2024 was, down there, Bear Romance response trailers. I was truly expecting more games to try to capitalize and chase that fearlessly horny attention that Baldur's Gate 3 got in 2023. Maybe I didn't give them enough time. I'm not giving up on that one. I do think that's going to be a trend in 2025. And so I do have a few more trend-watching trends for trailers of 2025. Trend watch, unconventional romance options. Also, Balatro-likes. So it's probably not crazy to assume there's going to be Balatro-like games in 2025 and beyond. But I think we're also going to see trailers that communicate in Balatro language, right? Like a trailer that, you know how like when somebody wakes up from spawning in a trailer, I'm watching a roguelike. I think there's going to be things like that for Balatro likes where it's like you see them hit their blinds. It's like, okay, yeah, you get what this is. I think big butts are going to be big in 2025. I think Stellar Blade basically figured out the ratio last year of how much big butt one can put into a video game trailer while still having enough regular video game around it to look like a regular video game. The prototype is out there. There will be copycats. And finally, number 4 on the trailer trend watch, emotional blinks. This one you might have to hear me out on. So in a movie trailer, an actor doesn't always necessarily need to be saying something or doing something. Sometimes they are merely there. They're present and blinking emotionally. Video games typically can't afford to be so mundane. Because video games in the 2010s needed explosions to prove they were graphically impressive. In the 2020s, it's all going to be about emotional blinks.